Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome back to the BBB, hosted by yours truly, Astro, of course. Here again with Jazz and myself, Zek, the one who lives in the darkness and feeds off of the souls of men. In the good way, though.
In the good way.
Yeah. It's always preceded by a shield bash. But
oh my
we'll
God.
get to that in a bit.
Topical.
Yeah, very topical. So today we're going to talk about our big black boy Baptiste.
What?
Doomfist with hair.
Doomfist with hair and a cute accent. He's a pretty cute boy. And then we'll also
handsome boy.
yeah, he's very
10 out of
cute.
10. I'd date him.
Ooh. Except for that eye thing, I really don't like that little like the little eyeglass. Yeah, that's like
the Dragon Ball power scanner thing.
yeah.
It's over 9,000.
I think it's funny as fuck, but okay.
Mm-hmm. So today's topics include Baptiste, our process on #rework Brig, and our opinions on that. A brief foray into the uselessness of the upcoming anniversary event, and maybe a discussion of the leaked Locked 222.
Yes, that'd be good.
Oh,
Alright.
wait, there was a leak? Wait, what?
Yeah, there was a
Well,
leak.
no, there was some dude, source needed, and I saw
Source
this
needed.
I saw this on your Overwatch.
I'm literally your source.
Yes,
I
that's
didn't know.
Yeah, you are usually. So this is weird. But on your Overwatch and on Overwatch Central, they talked about how this one guy who's super big in esports told Blizzard, "You need to do all these things." He posted that on Twitter, and then Jeff was like, "Okay."
Okay.
And so one of the things was to stop stacking in Grandmaster, and then the other thing was to like lock 222. But I think that like locking 222 is probably only necessary for like lower elo, so like under 3,000 or maybe even under 3,500. But I don't really know.
We might as well talk about we'll talk about the recent lock and stuff probably at the end. So then that gives me a chance to try and find this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you go, girl.
Anyway, so Baptiste, gentlemen, what
Yes.
are our thoughts?
Ooh, he's so good.
Other than he's handsome and good.
I quite like him.
He's
I
just
do
so
too.
good.
I think my only big issue with him is freaking regenerative burst, but that's such a that's a long story, so we'll have to get into that a bit later. But
It is.
I think overall he's a great character. At first I didn't think he had much of a personality, and I still think he doesn't really have one, but the one that he does display, even if slightly, is fantastic. So
He's almost as tasty as this chocolate chip cookie that I'm eating right now.
yeah, no,
Oh, man.
the personality he does have is just friggin' hilarious. So
I love how he it's just so okay, the fact that Overwatch takes around 60 years in the future, I think, roughly.
it takes place in 2076.
Yeah, so roughly 60 years.
About 50,
So the
yeah.
fact 50 to 60. So the fact that Baptiste loves 10 really old memes, is in old by our standards, and let alone Overwatch standards.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just fucking hilarious to me.
yeah.
It's oh, sweet boy.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Sweet boy.
it's just no, I just love how freaking sarcastic he is. He's
Yeah, that
optimistic. He's optimistic, but he's sarcastic, and I love that.
Everyone
know
signed
what-
their life insurance policies.
Do you know what he is? And
What?
I've just noticed it now. He's a really good mixture of Lucio and Sombra. His
Yes,
personality-wise,
he
just
really is.
fused into one.
He really is. Oh my
But
god.
also, what he is he's a buff to Bastion.
Ugh.
Oh Jesus! I nearly spat out my tea.
Well, okay. Jokes aside, though, it is kind of true that he is a buff to Bastion.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah, but
you shouldn't be buffing.
But yeah, it's the whole argument of does an individual hero necessarily buff another hero, and true, but also it shouldn't be that way.
It's
if
a
that makes
crutch.
sense.
It's a crutch. It's if the meta changes, they're fucked.
Yes,
Yeah,
which
if
is what
Baptiste
is happening
is
to
nerfed.
Brig.
If Baptiste is nerfed, then Bastion's just gonna end up the same as
Well, even if
he
just the
usually
meta
was.
changes.
Yeah.
So,
Which, yeah.
like if there's something that more easily shuts down Immortality Field, like say Sombra, you know, you're fucked.
Yeah. Fair
True,
enough,
but like in the instances where Immortality Field does do its work, like it's just like it's so good.
Yes, it is.
Okay, just for clarity's sake, should we go through abilities? So, like,
Yeah,
just
we can.
quickly. Like, okay, so we have the Exo Boots, so that's his passive.
I always forget to use them. But
I'm like a rabbit. I always use them.
it's just like it's just
When I really shouldn't.
you know, I don't play many mobile characters, so the idea that oh my god I can jump just doesn't occur to me. But
It's super good because it means that you can play him in more divey comps, and that sort of enables him in a multivariate role,
Yes,
where
it
he can
does.
sort of function alongside a Lucio, or even alongside a Moira, or in my preference, alongside a Mercy.
yeah, exactly.
He's definitely like he's very akin to a more mobile Ana, I suppose.
Sort of,
And
yes.
that does, yeah, it does give him the slight edge over her. Well, like his overall presence, as in like fighting and also healing, is more active than Ana, but she has more active abilities. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But
Also,
you can
she has
always-
Sleep Dart and Anti, which are like the two best abilities in the game still.
Yes.
So it's kind of like like the Exo Boots is what brings him just slightly above her.
Mm-hmm.
To me personally, in terms of like fitting him into comps, simply because they're just so handy in the most. They're just really handy and like to get around.
Yes, definitely.
It's kind of like how Mercy's and what's the Guardian Angel is very handy to get around. It's the same thing,
Exactly, yeah.
especially super.
And that brings us really nicely to talk about his weapon, because I think that, as far as I'm concerned, he is a much better candidate for 3-3, like, or even 3-2-1, like triple support, 2 tank, 1 DPS, because he is sort of in that Brig spot where he sort of is also a DPS. If you hit your headshots, like he can just do devastating damage. Like, it's really insane the amount of damage he can output, like if you're precise. And so I think that like maybe the best use for Baptiste would be Baptiste Lucio Zenyatta. In like a sort of like, I guess you could call it like notes or like boats. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what you would call it. But like
3 dive tanks, Baptiste Lucio Zenyatta.
what I'm
sweating.
like for example, like I guess what I would say is the issue I have with his gun is more just the rate of fire like in the burst. I think there's too much delay between each bullet in the burst, but maybe that's just me. Because I feel like it's clunky. Like it doesn't quite fire correctly.
I have nothing. Personally, I don't have any issues on his first fire rate. I think it does its job. If you look at all of my heroes, they have like a bit of a steady kind of like aim, I suppose. So like they don't like jitter like he does. But other than that, like
weird.
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
My issue is like, you know, it's supposed to be a 3-round burst, but I wouldn't really call it a burst. It's more like you fire and then you're forced to track for like half a second. Like it's the worst thing.
I always find that like if I'm battling another Baptiste, actually getting the immortality field, like trying to shoot at it is actually very difficult because of the like
the burst. It's
his gun
weird.
just goes everywhere except at what I'm aiming.
Exactly.
But it has perfect center speed though, so don't let the little recoil fool you, because it always recenters.
Yes, it does.
That is true.
So remember that. It'll sort of help you in your fights. But no, that weapon is great. I like it. I do agree that like maybe, you know, because it's like but about you know, like maybe like that burst could be like a bit tighter. That would be nice. It would allow you to melt people more.
Yeah, just like
Well, if you speed it up,
probably
you'd have to
would have to
lower its
slow down.
damage.
Well, I wouldn't mean
I was
mean
just
speed up
about
the
to say.
time between the burst. I mean just like speed up the burst.
Yeah. He's good though. He's good, and he has like a huge clip, so you never actually need to reload. And then when you do, you also refresh your healing.
Yeah.
The secondary fire of the weapon is great. It's 60 HPS. I kind of think it's a shame that I feel like they could have made the area of effect bigger for the heal, and I know that people don't like me saying that because it's me saying, oh, this OP hero should be even more OP. But I feel like the area of effect should have been bigger, and it should have had a less effectiveness at the edges.
I feel like
just as a reference point, the area of effect is 30 meters radius, which I didn't think it was that small, actually.
3 meters.
Now that I'm looking at it,
3 meters.
It's
3
meters of effect. Yeah. So it's like a radius.
Small.
I mean,
it is actually very small.
I mean, I think the only thing I would say about the grenades that he shoots are I wish they healed himself for 20 health or something, 25 health. So it's just you had another option other than the freaking slow as fuck regenerative burst. But other than that, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a nice little.
I actually don't mind the fact that it doesn't heal him. I actually don't, because it then just means that you do have to rely on the other healer with you, and I don't think that's a necessarily bad thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not assured another healer.
Yeah, but think about we'll get to it with regenerative burst when it comes to it, but think about Anna's nade, for example. She can't heal herself, but when she throws the grenade down, she can then heal herself. It's kind of the same thing. It's not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, okay, that's a fair complaint. For me, with the secondary fire, I think they could have brought it up from instead of just 10 ammo, they could have brought it up to maybe 15.
Really? Why
not a huge amount. Well, okay.
I do always have to.
He's a healer, right? I don't think to me it's just a bit strange the fact that his damage ammo is 45, which is it's nothing to snuff at.
Yeah.
And then the healing, him being a main healer, is that low? It's just a bit surprising, I suppose. And I do find myself thinking God, I wish there was a few more clips. If that makes sense. If there was just a few more shots that I can take before I reload.
I'm always reloading when I play him.
Same, yeah. I'm constantly reloading.
So if there was one tiny little thing that I would suggest to Blizzard is maybe just bringing it up not a crazy amount. I'm not asking for fucking 30. I'm just maybe a little 10, just going from 10 to 15. I think it would be perfectly fine then.
Okay.
Because yeah, all right. Anything else?
Maybe even 12, but whatever. That's for them to decide.
Yeah, it's just bringing it up a little, a smidgen.
Now onto the healing burst.
Oh god, this thing is both really good and awful. I think it's a really powerful ability, but I think I don't know. It just feels shitty. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, have you? Okay, I'm just gonna ask. Have you ever played Lucio?
Yeah.
Or do you play him often?
I play him every once in a while, but I don't like him because it's just the healing's so fucking slow.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, if you're playing Lucio to be a healer, then you're not gonna have a very good time.
Yeah. No. It's
my motto.
It's if you're playing Zen to be a healer, sure he can heal.
Not gonna have fun.
Yeah, you're not gonna have fun. Your job.
Can you believe that at some point it was Zen, Lucio, Genji, Tracer, Winston, Diva? What the fuck was the game?
I remember it.
Man.
I hated it.
Only 90s kids remember.
I hated it. Oh my god. Talk about not being able to play the game.
Man, those were the do you ever think about the ups and downs of Overwatch? Sometimes when you sit back, when the someone comes out with a hot piece saying this is the worst the game has ever been, and then
yeah,
and then you think back and you're oh man. Those were the days.
I remember some absolutely horrible
Oh
Horrible
god.
times.
Oh. Anyway, back to focus. Regenerative Black Burst.
I think it's a good ability, and I think that Astro undervalues it because he looks at Baptiste in a vacuum, but Baptiste does not exist in a vacuum.
Oh, no,
Baptiste exists alongside.
I don't look at him in a vacuum. I just think it's an ability that, you know, it just feels fucking awful to use.
Yeah, it is. It's underwhelming, but like you can save your team with it, and especially if your other healer is an AoE healer, you can fully heal 6 people like instantly.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And also leave a lingering effect in case they take damage, and you have to reload, right? Because your gun only has 10 fucking shots in it, so while you're reloading, they can keep being healed, even if it's just a little bit. Especially now that like burst damage is so fucking high, with Junkrat being able to one-shot basically anyone. Like, it's really... Oh, jeez, a nightmare. And for that, you have your mortality field, which we'll get to. But it's really... It's a hard time. It's a hard time to play a healer, and I think that him having that sustained burst healing with his gun and that effect is very, very good, because it brings him up from 75 HPS up to like what, like 90, 95, 100, like at Moira with Ball.
Well, in that case, could they at least lower the fucking cooldown? Because it's just like, it's just...
That's actually what I was going to suggest.
Like...
I was about to say that, like, I think I agree with Zeke that, like, the ability is actually really, really good. I don't really care that the fact that it's not unique, I suppose.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be unique.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be unique, but I feel like the cooldown is a bit too harsh. I think 15 seconds is a bit much. I think, like...
I'd even go for, like,
it's kind of like
12 or 10. Like, it's just...
Yeah, I was just about to say 12. Like, 12 seconds would have been perfectly fine. I think 15 is a bit much. OTT for what it is.
Yeah.
Because you have to think to yourself, like, it's 30 heals per second. Typically you're going to be pulling that thing when you're reloading, or when your healer might be like, your other healer might be like out of the game just for a second.
Yeah, or in response to a dive.
Yeah. So typically you're doing this in a high tense situation, and true that little healing over time does help, but you have to consider that it's only 30 healing per second.
Mm-hmm.
And while that adds up to a lot, I don't think, like, it still doesn't warrant the
15-second cooldown.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a really good and handy ability. I just don't think it's worth the 15 minutes.
Oh, God.
No. We're not playing Mercy. We don't have a 15-minute cooldown.
Oh, God. It takes 2 years.
I mean...
Yeah, it takes 2 years for your mass rest to recover.
Your mass res.
That's been the nerf all along.
The secret nerf. It's what they're building up towards.
I like that Dino Flask video.
Which one?
Pardon?
There's a lot of Dino Flask videos.
The Dino Flask video where he like makes fun of the developers thinking that Brig was balanced way back when.
Oh,
and then,
God.
When they're all like, when Brigida stuns you, it will be a progressively increasing stun that will start and last only a few seconds and eventually last the entirety of the game.
when she stuns you, you begin to form a headache outside of the game, and it never leaves.
Yeah.
For about 2 years.
By the way, did you see that person that removed Brig's stun and instead made her shield bash boot people the fuck away for her?
No, I didn't see that.
It's really interesting. It's like they put shield bash like down to 4 seconds, and then they just had it knock people back instead of stunning. But then also, like, that may even be too good and better than a stun.
Will we get focus on the task at hand, gentlemen?
Oh yeah. Immortality field.
Immortality field.
Okay.
Not as OP as people think. I
don't
think.
Yeah. It's really not.
I remember it was you, Jazz, that said that the health of the thing would have to be reduced.
I think
it will be a little bit. I think it will be a little bit. I don't think
it has to. Like, it dies instantly.
I think it'll be reduced to like 225 or something.
Okay, well, they don't do 25, so no. It's going to go down to 200 if it goes down.
Because, okay...
I mean, 205. They've done 205.
my thought process in saying that like maybe the HP should be cooldown is the fact that like it essentially is the same health as May, but tiny, and it's floating, and there's lights everywhere.
Yeah, and shooting
Yeah.
at it removes damage from you dealing damage to the enemy team, so it causes
Exactly.
Yeah, so maybe 200 is a good move. But then, like, I guess if we do that, then he needs to like
It would
have
have-
something else.
it
So
would- I mean, it
regen
would-
burst on 12 seconds.
I think if you do that, it might need just like maybe a 18-second cooldown instead of a 20 or something like that. Like,
I don't know, fam. I think it's. Do you know what? I think the cooldown for Immortality Field is actually very generous.
It is.
While the Regenerative Burst cooldown is very harsh, and it's really weird.
that's true.
It's actually very odd, but like
But
I'd say it'd be fine.
If you
slightly buffed Regenerative Burst and also did the ammo thing that we suggested, I'd say that would be perfectly fine. I don't think
you wouldn't have to
anything else
touch
would be-
Immortality Field, really? Okay.
No, you reduce it to 200 health and just leave it be there. I think that's a good trade-off, right? Because most of the time buffs are trade-offs. They're not
Well, yeah.
straight
yeah,
buffs.
that's what I was implying, that like Immortality. If I were to do this to Immortality Field, I would maybe tweak these other two things.
I mean, but the issue is that it's so large and so bright that it might just become moot at that point. Like it becomes sort of like,
Immortality is never moot. In a 1v1, it makes your opponent be like, okay, I'm dead. Like, I fought a Reinhardt today. He pinned me as I dropped the field. I didn't die, and then I killed him on my own. And I was like, okay, great, like...
You also have to.
but even if
consider
it
the
doesn't
fact that
last,
you're-
like, what's the point?
the Immortality Field. You're still taking down a full hero, even at 200 health.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like Sims teleporter.
Yep.
Like, that's why it's as beefy as it is because it's stationary, but it's also just like it is the same health as two heroes piped together, or like a full tank. I think.
Wait,
Half a tank,
isn't
it's
it
a
300?
300.
Yeah, it's
Half a
300.
300.
Oh yeah, half the tank then.
It's Bastion with shields.
Yeah.
So even worse.
So even worse. Yeah. I mean,
I think Immortality feels really handy as well.
I think it's a great ability. I just, I think they need
Go on.
I think they need to, like, maybe slightly reduce the health, or I don't know. Like, I think it's a great ability though. I think the biggest benefit of it though is not even directly what it does. I think it's more like what it allows for at this point, right? Because it seriously
a lot of heroes benefit from this that were really bottom of the barrel. So like Bastion, McCree, Farah, like these heroes really do benefit from it. So I agree.
I mean, I think like the big thing is like you can really make the argument now that things like res are really kind of pointless now if you have Baptiste, right? Because it's like you can just prevent someone from dying in the first place.
I mean, there's always the like perk of like bringing someone who is completely dead and out of the game back into the game.
Oh yeah.
So I suppose there is that, but I do agree that like maybe res. I was about to say mass res. God damn it. Maybe res should get a little bit of a buff, even just like maybe add in ult charge.
I mean,
if you just want to be very, very light about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna have to do an episode on Mercy eventually, but I think res is something that they're eventually going to need to put back on her ult, whether they like it or not, because it's just making her so fucking impossible to balance right now.
Well, she's balanced right now.
She's a little underwhelming.
She's entirely balanced right now. She's just not fun for a lot of people to play.
Her healing is really kind of shit.
The thing about Mercy is that like that's kind of the reason why Rework Mercy hasn't maybe broken through to like the developers, is simply because when they
She's
look
not
at the chart,
numerically unbalanced.
it's like when you look at the chart, when you look at how she's being played in both like casual scene, pro scene, and league scene, she's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how
statistically,
that's where the difficulty. Yeah. So statistically, she's fine, but like, again, we'll get into it deeper on a like different episode. But like, that's kind of like the issue, I suppose.
Well, yeah, I know.
Like, we kind of like have to face, but
Wow, she has a
I
positive
definitely
win rate, and her pick rate is so high. What the hell?
What is it right now? In what, GM?
5.5% across all
Jesus.
ranks, and she wins 51% of the time.
Jesus.
And it's 8% on PSN, and 7% on Xbox, and she's winning 50.32 and 52%. Wow.
Holy shit.
Okay, so if anything, that means she's statistically favored right now. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is that like the 50 HPS thing, it sucks when it sucks, but like also like Mercy still statistically outperforms a lot of the other supports. So
overall,
the fact that it,
and
the
also
fact that
least
it feels
we
shitty.
forget Baptiste enables Mercy as well.
Yeah, that too. Oh yeah, and
That's
also
another-
Mercy is a lot less mechanically taxing than the other supports too.
I mean, but that's sort of a pointless argument because I mean, so is Lucio.
That's true. That's
I mean,
true.
Lucio.
Oh, it's not easy to get the headshots with Lucio.
I mean,
like,
it's
you gotta
not,
really
it's not
place your
particularly
shots.
easy to get the headshots with. It's not particularly easy to get the headshots with Mercy's pistol either. But I mean, you know.
Yeah, but like Lucio's utility comes from the fact that he shoots all the time. Like you should never not be shooting. Like you should always be shooting.
Yes, but Lucio also literally heals by existing. So, I mean,
That's true. 16.25 HPS.
he literally just heals by existing. So it's just kind of like I wouldn't say there's a really much of a mechanical argument going on there.
You know, like right before Ana released, there was a support that healed 15 HPS, a support that healed 30 HPS, and a support that healed 60 HPS. And you know, like that was that.
Yeah.
Like
Oh God, I remember this. Oh God, I'm having, like,
it was so
minor
easy.
I remember it.
Bad flashbacks.
Okay, we can just mention Baptiste's ult since none of us have anything to say about this. I can assure me. Baptiste's ult,
I mean,
it's great.
I
Lasts
think-
for only 6 seconds, and then it doesn't do anything anymore. So cool.
I
Kill
think
everyone with
I
it.
think it's just so clunky, right?
What?
It's so fucking clunky. It's like it's not the kind of thing you can use in the middle of a battle, right? Because it's like sort of a similar issue with like Sim in her ultimate, right? Where it's just like you expect me to stop doing whatever I'm doing and place this fucking rectangle at a perfect angle, and it's like, no, just place it in front of me.
Yeah. Let me think. To be honest, I really like. How do I say this? It's like with Sim's Ultimate, you just it just becomes second nature.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
When you've played it for a while, so that maybe that's the reason why I'm kind of like with Baptiste. I'm like, this shit easy, fam.
No, but like placing it in the middle of battle, I'm like,
around.
what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do here?
I
Well,
have
you
noticed
do
that,
it.
like, one big con, I suppose, to Matrix is because when you plop it down,
It's so small.
the minute you do, like, for some reason, everyone in your team just leaves.
Pretty much. But I mean, but the
They
other,
shoot everywhere except through the thing.
but the other benefit with Symmetra is that it's map wide, right? You just place it and there it is. It's everywhere. But with Baptiste, you got to be precise with that shit because this thing's tiny.
I suppose it's a mixture. It's a mixture between May's Wall and Sim's Ultimate.
Sort of. Yes.
Yeah, so I suppose that's more of a case of like maybe, like I have noticed that it's a bit finicky. So like if you plug it down and you just raise your head, it could just be like 15 miles away.
Exactly.
You're like, oops.
It's like with Immortality Field. It's just like whoops, it's 7 miles away. Like it's just It's just, what the fuck?
A big whoopsie.
Again, it's probably, I'm just talking from my experience. So like, I'm used to characters like Sim. I'm used to characters like Lucio. I'm used to characters kind of like May, where I'm just sort of used to this shit. So like, and Sombra as well, if you're including the like throwing.
Yeah.
So I'm just maybe I'm just used to it, but like I think it's fine. It's just that maybe a bit sensitive. I would maybe lower the sensitivity a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of like, do you know that old man GIF? That's like, he's like standing in front of the car and he's like, that's kind of what I am.
I empathize, but I suppose that's that about Baptiste. He's pretty cool.
I do
He's
like
meta
him.
defining.
He's hot, he's funny, and he plays well. I can't ask for more.
Yeah, it's everything.
He's the perfect man.
Yeah, and also he's virtual, so that's an advantage and a disadvantage in and of itself.
Oh my god. I just love his fucking personality. Like, thank you, Baptiste. Oh, you're welcome. I die every time I hear that. I'm like, oh my god, it's perfect. Or like the other line where it's like, imagine the worst possible outcome. Now avoid that.
It's so good because it accurately reflects playing comp, where it's like, you queue and immediately these low IQ potato sacks on your team, or just like, insta pick 5 DPS, even though you're like on the curb to get into diamond. It's like, yeah, thanks.
Or the other one. It's like, statistically, I usually get most of my team back alive. The comments he makes are so fucking fantastic. Like, whoever wrote the lines,
wholesome.
It's just amazing.
You know the way some heroes you play for the personality, for some people, heroes you play for mechanics.
Yeah,
you just like them. Baptiste is like a perfect version of like two of the, like in between. For like both his personality and his mechanics. It's just chef's kiss. Well done.
And the solo carry.
Yeah,
the solo carry.
Oh my god, he can solo carry like hell. Have you seen the video of Jane playing him? Oh my god, yes. It's hilarious. 2k heals per 10 minutes or 20k heals per 10 minutes. It's just
I remember seeing that video and sending it to you, Zeke, and going, remember when you said he was the secondary healer?
Yeah, he literally.
I was so sure he was going to be an off support.
He literally does 2,000 healing per minute. It's ridiculous.
It's pretty intense. I'm not going to lie, but that's convenient.
Actually, just like a quick side note before we move on topic. Baptiste has a great potential to actually be... He's in the same boat as Mercy in the case of, like, he can be played as a secondary support or a main support, which I think is very great for his versatility.
Yes.
It will depend on whether or not that affects his balance, akin to how it affected Mercy.
Mercy? Main healer?
Back in the olden days. But I think time will tell, and I think right now, I think he's perfectly fine. I think, but like I said, like just the tiniest tweaks that we've just suggested.
That we could make,
yeah, but that's kind of it. I think he's perfectly fine.
Perfect, I agree.
I like him.
So, a little moment on rework Brig, and I just picked her in lobby, so that's good. Locked in Brig.
We went from so positive.
Oh yeah.
To dread.
Now it's getting dark. But
so
talk about rework Brig, give your little plug, and then we'll go on.
Okay, so Zavi and I have been talking about what we should be doing next to help push these reworks, and we decided that the best thing we could do is we should look more into reworking Brig, because Brig is a character who has, I would say, a equal and opposite issue to Bastion, right? In that, basically, she only works in really one comp, and she's really good at the high ranks and really shit at the low ranks.
Oh yes.
Which is ironic.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And she's entirely reliant on her team to really kind of get that value.
Completely so.
And so we thought the best thing we could do is really try and talk about why Brig doesn't work as a current design, or like what you can do to change it. And we basically came up with this idea that she should try and, or should I say, I came up with the idea. We've discussed it back and forth, but basically this idea that she should be less consistent in the healing, but the healing should be more powerful when it does happen, especially with self-healing, right? So, sort of the idea is like, there would be more of a cooldown on Inspire, and it would heal herself for less, and then, like, her repair pack would be half armor, half HP, right? So, like, if it heals...
So rather than the current, if you put on the repair pack, you get HP if you're low, but if you're like full, you get armor. So it's both, rather than either or.
Well,
just to clarify.
No, basically we came up with the idea of like, you would, if you have, say like it's a Roadhog, right, and he has like 200 health, you heal him, instead of getting like 150 health, you would get like 100 health and then 50 armor, right? But the maximum amount of armor you could get would be 100. So, if you overheal, right? The maximum overheal for the armor would be 100.
You're not expressing yourself well, and I have no idea what you're talking about. Please start over.
So, okay, thank you.
Blunt as ever. I think you should get off that fence. You're gonna get wood stuck in your ass.
Yeah,
just keep on sitting on that fence.
Well,
yeah. Okay. So, do you want the repair pack to heal someone and then leave overcharge?
What?
Do you want the pack to heal and then give armor if the person is overhealed?
Yes.
How do you propose to do that?
No, what I'm saying is like, if the hero, the current maximum overheal that you can get, right, in armor is 75, right? What I'm saying is that they should up it to 100, but they should lower the health maximum from 150 to 100, right? So basically, and then there's always, but then always 50 of the armor is always applied either way, right?
Okay, so the maximum healing is reduced from 150 to 100, then the maximum armor is increased from 75 to 100. Otherwise, it functions exactly mechanically the same.
And there's always 50 armor just added to, even if
and you always get at least 50 armor, as a part of the ability. Okay. Cool. So what that does is that it makes the target a little bit more resistant to dives, which is what you want that ability for anyway, right? Because Brig exists to counter dive.
And the other and the other thing, and this was Diego's idea, which I thought was brilliant, is that it should trigger Inspire when you get the heal, because if you reduce the healing or the cooldown on it, then if you increase the cooldown on it, then it's not as consistent, and so you need more ways to activate it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the one of the issues with Brig right now is that the only way to heal or to get the Inspire is to be in there smashing people. So,
well, you have Whip Shot, which is an exceptional tool to just get a little knock on someone to start healing your teammates.
Well, yes, but this is something that another idea that Diego had, where basically whip shot its cooldown would be increased to 6 seconds, and its damage would be decreased to 50, but it would disable movement abilities, like all the abilities that Grav disables.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because
basically it would work to better isolate a target. Or basically stop a dive, or something like that. So, like, say you have a Winston who's preparing to dive onto one of your allies, you just whip shot him, and then he can't jump for, like, 2 seconds.
okay, so it's like a route.
Well, not a route, because it doesn't prevent you from moving, it just prevents you from using mobility abilities.
It's a movement silence. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like hack, but only for movement abilities.
That's weird. I guess it could work.
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
It would slow down the game, which would be very nice.
Yes, but then also you'd lose a significant portion of your damage.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say that you should also, like, then increase the shield bash damage up to 35.
I suppose what Astro is trying to say is
He's sacrificing damage for the other things that Brig is good at, which is
Yes.
isn't good at, which is like protecting the team,
Yes.
and also like being an actual tank healer rather
Yes.
than tank healer, DPS, trio.
I'd reduce her overall DPS capabilities to increase her overall, like, anti-mobility.
I think that
Right.
makes sense.
That does
That
make
definitely
sense.
makes sense. But then you wouldn't have to raise it to 6 seconds. Maybe 5 would be fine. That way, at least she can have good rhythm with it.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. But, like, my idea is that the shield bash go back up to 35. But what I would do is I would maybe slightly reduce the range on it, maybe only just by a meter or something. But other than that, I think it's fine. And then I like her normal fire. I think the normal swings are quite nice. I think it should stay at 35. But basically, it would actually be a similar amount of healing, but it wouldn't be as constant. Or sorry, a similar amount of damage, but it wouldn't be as constant.
Well, the damage, yeah, I guess so. I guess you're taking away 25 and putting it somewhere else, so that does even out.
It's transferring power into something else.
Yeah.
And then it makes her combo good against Tracer again, which is necessary.
Well, actually, I don't think it would one-shot Tracer anymore. Let me think, because it would be 35.
But she wouldn't be able to recall, so it wouldn't matter. You would kill her anyway.
It would be 35, 30... Yeah, that's true. 35, 35... Yeah. Okay, you're right. 70 plus 50. Yeah, okay. No, that would probably kill her.
It actually doesn't. It brings her 35, 35, 50 is 120.
I know, but
like,
then she can't move, so...
Yeah, well, she's really far away from you.
That's true. You would boop her back.
Which is fine. I mean, I guess the point is to, like...
To contest,
Make
not
Brig-
kill.
Yeah, contest, not kill. Make Brig less mediocre. But okay, I like that armor pack change. That's definitely interesting. That could be very good in theory, but also very good in practice. As far as I can tell, like that.
And I mean, the other idea of Inspire is, like, it's on a 4-second cooldown now, but it's like area of effect is larger, but it heals Brig for less, sort of.
But like the thing about what do you mean by cooldown? Because I think that there's a misunderstanding that she stops healing at some point, because she doesn't.
Well, I know.
Like if you keep hitting someone, she keeps healing. It's just that it fades after a while. Now, if you really want to reward Brig for smacking people, you make her only have 1 second of Inspire per hit. Now that'll make her have to hit people and make her healing really consistent.
The idea is basically that if she isn't, so the time that she would be healing with Inspire would be the same, but the issue right now is that the cooldown on Inspire is like 1 second or something like that, and so it constantly is resetting, right? So the issue here, what I would basically suggest is like you can only reset it every 4 seconds, right? So you would have to time when you swing to make sure you're getting the most value out of it.
There's no way to represent that on the HUD, though, and I can see that being a really big problem.
Oh, that's something I think they should change, really, because they need to. There's a lot of HUD-based issues in this game, if I'm being honest.
Oh God!
Like, it just gets so fucking crowded with all the information you don't need, none of it that you do. Like, it's just like
I've been saying this forever, but like I think, like, just to interject here real quick, I think Overwatch really needs to like I know this is gonna sound weird, but like an aesthetic makeover. If that makes sense.
Sort of, yeah.
Like between the menus and also the actual HUD, because I think everything's kind of like just a bit. It can be better.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Bad,
I think one thing, like a perfect example of one thing I think they need to do is I think they need to make discorded targets more obvious. Like they need.
Same with Sombra's
hack. Yeah, they need to glow. These things need to frickin' glow like the sun, right? Or else your lobotomized teammates aren't going to notice. So, you know.
Correct.
I've been saying this forever, and that like, remember when I was talking about Mora spray?
Yes.
About how I would personally strengthen the fact that like who you're heal like is it make it clearer.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same like
principle.
Thing. You need
yeah.
Overwatch is amazing at giving you visual information, but sometimes it can be really, really difficult.
It's the wrong information.
It's sometimes they prioritize like information that you don't actually need, but then like information you do need is somehow a bit clustered, especially with the newer heroes, I find.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a perfect example, watch my gameplay, right? The thing that always fucks me over in Overwatch is the fact that my brain shits itself trying to process everything that's going on the screen. And and you know, everything's happening so quickly that my brain basically just overheats and explodes. And then you see me playing Bastion, like doing spins in the corner because I'm not sure what the fuck I'm shooting at, because I can't tell what I'm looking at. Like, it's just, oh my god.
It's a chaotic game.
This is what has lost me so many games, because my brain can't keep up.
I think that's just the curse of like it being a fast game as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think a fast game is okay, but I think the issue is that
visual information is key, though.
It's lacking in comparison. Yeah.
So I get that.
And then I think if we're just going back to Brig, I think the last thing that they should do is with Rally, her ult, right?
Oh, jeez.
Because I think what they should do is, I think they should have it tied to Inspire, where basically to get the maximum amount of armor. First of all, I think they should increase the maximum amount of armor, because right now it's 100. I think it should be back to 150, or even 200. But what has to happen is Brig has to hit things to get armor, right? She has to do things to get the armor. It's not just a passive armor, thing.
I was just about to say, like, whoa, stall this pony right here, right now.
Yeah, no.
That is a bad idea. To go from 200 and do absolutely fuck all.
No, I think if she does nothing, it should just be 50 armor, right? Just passively 50 armor. But if you want 200 armor, you have to get in there and you have to be swinging. And I mean, if you want 200 armor, you gotta work. You have to hit a lot of targets, and it's tied to Inspire, so you can only get it every 4 seconds. So basically, you only have an opportunity to raise the amount of armor you get every 4 seconds. So
I think though this would be good if you're trying to make Brig into a tank and not a support hero.
Well, I think she can. I think she can be both. I think she doesn't have the player model, nor does she really have the kit to be a tank. Honestly, I don't.
No, but what I'm saying is that consistent heals are worth a lot.
Yeah,
and I think that having her only be able to heal once every 5 seconds would not only make her completely unplayable at above diamond, but also.
Well, no, it wouldn't. She wouldn't stop healing. What I'm saying is it would. The duration on Inspire wouldn't change. It's just that you would only be able to reset it every 4 seconds. So if you're swinging and you activate it and you start swinging again and you're hitting things, it's not going to reset. It's just going to keep going until 4 seconds is over, and then it'll end, and then you have to hit something again for it to do something. If you get what I mean.
Mm. Yes, I understand.
And basically, that's how it should. That's what should be tied to Rally, where it's how long is Rally? I think it's 8 seconds or something. What is it?
10.
10? Okay. So it's if you want the 200 armor, you have to hit, say first, right off the bat, you have to hit something, and that'll give you 100 armor, right? And then 4 seconds later, you hit again, and that'll give you 150, and then at the 8th second of Rally, you hit someone else, and that's 200. But you have to time it, so you can't just be swinging the whole time. If you get what I mean. It's this works really well on this. If I had a piece of paper I could draw on, this would make sense.
Okay, just as a suggestion in editing, maybe put it up a diagram.
Oh, I would. Yeah,
right now.
I'll put it.
As
I'll put it up. I'll put it up.
It is here.
Yes.
Wow, what a lovely diagram.
Yes.
This is an interesting idea.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
And I know that you, Zach, had something to say about with it relative to the 222 lock, and I know Jazz had something to say about making her a tank. So I want to hear this.
Yeah, well, relative to the 222 lock, if you take her in this direction, she's unplayable. When the 222 lock happens, what will matter is that you have a healer that can heal more than 100 per second on average to compete against the burst damage that can be done by the relevant heroes in DPS, and then that you'll also need to have a support that has a defensive ult, and she does neither of these, and she does even less of these after the rework.
Well, actually, her healing is about the same. But the thing with Brig, right, is I think even if they do the 222, I highly, highly doubt it'll be outside of just unorganized queue, because there's, I mean, think about it, right? It's not like with this GM queue change, if you're in Masters, you won't be able to do it, right? It's only for GM. And and I think that this 222 lock is probably only going to be for non-6 stacks above diamond and above, or I should say. It will almost.
The 222 lock would be better serving of people below diamond, though.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying with what I think will happen. And obviously I highly, highly doubt it'll ever touch pro play, and you have to remember that. You can't forget about that.
As in, you don't think the 2 lock will ever be in pro play? Or...
No, it won't.
I don't think so.
I practically know so, because Blizzard is trying to balance between, creativity in team comps and your ability to play the game, right? But when you have a highly organized team, your ability to play the game doesn't matter. It's just all about the comps. They have no reason to implement it there.
But I'm just gonna throw this out there because I'm a bit confused.
Okay.
I'm just gonna use goats as an example.
Yep.
So in casual play, if you're just a regular person logging into Overwatch just to play a game, you don't see goats.
No.
You feel the effects of because they're trying to eradicate goats.
Yeah.
So let's say Sombra, how powerful she currently is, Reaper, how powerful he currently is, but
that's a weird issue, Reaper, but yeah.
I'm not implying that, you get what I mean though.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That these heroes are a lot of heroes are strangely strong, and then another heroes are weirdly weak.
Yeah.
But you don't feel that
casually.
This hasn't hit goats. You don't see goats. You never see the effect of goats unless you start climbing up.
Yes.
And even at that, it's not required because in I suppose high tier casual, I suppose, if that makes sense.
High tier casual. There you go. That's me, high tier casual.
High tier casual. Oh my god. Can't you just tell that I'm a ball of an anxiety?
And yeah, I can, because I am too. So, I know.
You people and your mortal struggles.
Uh-huh.
People who are high tier, but who ain't pros, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so like diamond and up.
Yeah. Diamond and up. You see it sometimes.
Yes.
It's not exactly the main poppin' thing.
I see it here and there.
You see it. But in Overwatch League, it's everywhere.
Well, yes.
You trip over it.
I mean,
so I don't quite understand the mindset of we're going to implement to eradicate goats, but we're not going to put it in the place
where it's most prominent.
Yeah. That
Well,
makes sense.
I think in that case, it really gets to a discussion of why things are used in Overwatch League, because what makes something used a lot in Overwatch League is not the same as what makes something used a lot in even high tier ladder. Basically, what makes something used a lot in Overwatch League is what has been practiced the most and what can be used in the most situations. So, basically, because they've been playing goats for 6 months, right? They're going to play goats still.
A full year. Let's be generous. It's been a full year.
They've been playing goats for a year, right? So they're going to play goats because that's what they know how to play and that's what they know how to use the best ability, right? It's they're going to play whatever is the easiest to play and whatever works in the most situations. And in Overwatch League right now, that's goats, because everyone still knows how to do goats v goats. Until there's enough time that passes where, they have time to learn other things, you're gonna see goats v goats. I mean, it's
I suppose, but also remember what, the reason why the pros are also on the same update as us.
Yeah.
Is because Blizzard wants this, they want us
connectivity.
To feel like we could play, So
yes.
I don't quite understand how the connectivity would be really lost if we're forced to play 2-2-2. So,
well, I mean, again, that's only the higher ranks. But, I think the issue is that they're not doing the pros any favors by limiting them to 2-2-2, because a lot of the really interesting comps that you see are not 2-2-2, but a lot of the functional comps that you see in ladder are 2-2-2. So
then I guess it would just make sense to lock ladder to 2-2-2, under 3,500 or under 3K.
Yeah,
and then let them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then as you gain rank, you gain the privilege of being able to experiment with different things.
Yes, I would say that's about right. Yeah, and I mean, on
But
top.
do you know the way that like the concept of the 222, so like they're thinking of like having three different comps
Yeah.
currently. So
Yeah.
like if you're DPS, you're going to be put into a different comp.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So like a different place on the ladder. So like I could be fucking GBS, but I could be silver like tank for all I know.
I think that'd actually be kind of interesting, but I don't know.
It would be interesting, but like that's kind of where they're headed towards. That's what like Jeff kind of like alluded to when he kind of like soft confirmed 2-2 is coming.
I mean, the other thing I would really note is like once you're like high enough on the ladder, as Zek said, you can really experiment. But that's also the case if you're in a 6-stack, right? Like if you're in a 6-stack, you can experiment as much as you want because you're all communicating. So I think that
for sure.
Yeah, I think the 222 is going to be limited to either all of ladder except for GM when you're not in a 6-stack, or everything above 3K when you're not in a 6-stack.
I'm more asking like how does that work though? Because like I said, if I'm a GM DPS but I'm a silver tank and like I don't know, like a platinum healer, let's just throw that out there.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea.
What happens then? Like that's kind of what I'm asking. Like
I think it would just be the same thing you have with the Overwatch now, where it's like it's just kind of like an overall rank, and no matter what you queue as, you just go in.
Yeah, but how do you like have experiment? How are you able to suddenly get experiment? Okay, I'm just gonna subtly throw in my stance on 222.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's a good idea. I just don't think everyone's kind of like praising it to be like the savior of Overwatch, which I don't agree with. I think a lot of Overwatch is going to be lost, but a lot of good things are going to be gained. But I just I come at it more critically. I suppose, yeah, it does depend on how it's implemented, but like I do come from it from a more critical standpoint of rather than just saying like, oh yeah, this Overwatch should totally do this because then like I won't be trapped with like 5 different Genjis and they all want to play Genji and they all.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they all, like...
I think that's something that they're going to have to address. I think that's something that Jeff has talked about. That's something they're really balancing,
thinking of.
Yeah, and I think that's why I would prefer if it was sort of like a, 3K and above or 3K and below, but not in a 6-stack sort of thing. So that it's more for the people who need it instead of the people who really want to go and experiment, right? So, or they could just make it a separate queue. You could have a separate, queue for queuing for a role, and it's just up to you.
Don't split the population even more. Like already, we need cross-platform on consoles.
Yeah,
We're suffering so much with our wait times.
I know we are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, the 90-second queues for quick play are awful. Yeah. No, I agree. It's about how they implement it, and we're gonna have to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that overall, I think it'll be a good thing. But we'll have to give feedback on what they can improve, and they'll have to listen. So please listen.
Remember when we were
Blizzard?
talking about Brig?
Yeah, please listen, Blizzard.
Or yeah, like try different things. Like if you don't like locked 222, then like don't keep applying it to all of us. Like you can experiment. You're the game developers. Do what you see or what you think is best. And I think that's an optimistic way to to end this.
Well, maybe we should just give a quick blurb on what we think of the anniversary event.
Oh yeah. We forgot about that. It's so irrelevant.
Yeah.
The anniversary event that's happening in like
a couple weeks. 2 weeks. And the diva skin that will quote unquote break the internet.
I'm kind of scared about that, to be honest.
I'm very
'Cause the last
curious.
Oh
The
dear.
last thing that quote unquote broke the internet was like Kim Kardashian's ass. So I'm like, what does that mean?
the next Diva skin is literally just going to be a Kim Kardashian skin. Oh no.
It's gonna be
Oh,
Diva
God.
in a bikini.
It's gonna be what?
Diva in a bikini fan service.
Oh no.
They already have that though.
Oh?
Kinda. They cheated, kinda. Oh, by the way, I found the tweet that you were talking about.
Which
Oh, you
one?
did? Okay.
Oh,
You're
Brig?
resourceful, aren't you?
I found it when we were talking about Baptiste.
Jazz is investigative. She's not like me, where it's just like, okay.
I got my sources. I got my sources and my ways. Jeff and the Overwatch team must make some of the following changes. Solo queue, 222 tank, DPS tank, support, role queue, faster and more impactful hero balancing, scoreboard, replacing or overhaul 2CP, assault.
More impactful hero balancing. I like that.
Hold on. Full FPL pro plug for dollars, symptoms for I don't know what the fuck that is. Crossplay with console, yes. Demos.
Crossplay, yes. I don't understand. It's so easy to like there was what game was it that they accidentally had
Fortnite.
crossplay?
Fortnite.
Like all you have to do is like have everyone tether their account to a BattleNet account, and then like you can have a little symbol next to their name, which platform they're playing on, and then that's done. And Sony doesn't even get a say in it. Like you could do it.
Exactly.
You have the servers. They can suck a dick.
It's
like
this actually did happen with Fortnite. It's pretty funny. Where basically, for some update they had, I guess, they disabled the blockers that prevent the platforms from interacting with each other. And so, for like an hour and a half or something, you had people playing cross-platform.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing too, because it means like they literally are intentionally preventing us from playing with each other. But okay.
And like
What a shame.
the whole like PS4 people and like Xbox people are like you can't play as like the Berlin Wall of like our generation.
It really is in a way. It really is. Like, listen.
We stand divided.
Yeah, no, it's like
fucking reason.
it's like listen, you know, some of us want to play our Uncharted, some of us want to play our Halo. You know, just doesn't mean we can't be friends. Yeah.
Can you imagine how quick the fucking queue times would be if we could queue with people that played on PS4? Jesus Christ!
I know,
because metagame anyway.
Because PS4 has like double the population of Xbox, even though it's the same fucking thing.
Triggered.
In fairness, now I have to trade off my my fast queue quick play times and like fast comp times with people who only speak French.
Oh, that's true because you're on the EU servers. Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
So literally, I get into the game, they speak nothing but French or Spanish or whatever other bajillion languages in Europe.
Yeah.
And then the only English word is a bunch of like curses and like swears and fuck, bitch, shit. That's it.
It's like when I queue with Diego, and we just end up with a bunch of people speaking Spanish, and I'm sitting there, you know, just absolutely fucking dumbfounded as to what to do.
I am Astro. I speak English.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I took Spanish for 2 years. I really didn't learn anything.
Yeah, that's everything. Every time I hear about Americans learning language, they're like, "Oh yeah, I took Spanish from 2 years." Then I say something to them, and then they're just like, "What?" I'm like, "Great."
Yeah, no, we don't teach English.
It's good to know that Americans have good quality education at the high school level.
Oh yeah, it's peachy. Anyway, so yeah, the anniversary event.
Yeah, that's it. It sucks. We don't care about it. That's why we literally didn't even talk.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this Diva skin that breaks the internet is. Other than that, it's been 3 years. Happy birthday!
Yeah. Happy birthday, Sloverwatch. Get quick.
Sloverwatch. Well, slow down the game a little bit, please. It's a little fast for my brain right now, but yeah, speed up with the lore, please.
Yeah, Junkrat insta-kills.
Oh god! Oh god! the Avengers part.
Junkrat's fun as
What is it,
fuck,
like-
but he's garbage.
What?
Oh yeah,
Isn't that the point? Okay, did anyone else see the tweet with like Michael Chu saying, or like some? It wasn't. Was it Michael?
Yeah,
Chu?
it was like
Someone.
it's like eventually it'll
was like-
become over the Avengers. It's like an MCU universe Overwatch. And it's just building up slowly, and everyone's saying like, "Yeah, it's definitely building up slowly. That's for sure."
Poor him.
Someone who's like,
Yeah, as we say, Michael.
Chu.
As we
I'm
say,
like,
Michael.
Oh boy.
As we say, Michael Chu is just locked up in the basement in Irvine. They just,
Yeah.
or he has like his like mad scientist closet.
No Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
No Wi-Fi. He can't talk to anyone.
yeah, exactly. But I think that's
Actually, did anyone?
yeah. Go
Did
ahead.
anyone see the little? Sorry, just one last thing. I swear.
Yeah.
Did anyone like literally the day that we finished recording and like we wrapped up
Yeah.
and like 5 seconds later the like little Maximilian demo, the like the little like
Maximilian
you
demo.
want
Oh
guys,
yeah.
you guys want to
Maximilian
see
demo. Oh, the interview.
Yeah, it's like what? Yeah, the interview type
Yeah.
of thing.
No.
And he was like, "Oh, you guys want to meet Doomfist? Well, going to be in Singapore, which is kind of like, ooh,
And
that's decisively not Nubandi."
I would note that someone, I don't remember who it was, had been saying it was that the cutscene was the animation was in Singapore since it came out, because if you look in the background in one of the scenes is a natural history museum, and it's in, but the name is in 3 different languages. Those being English, Omnic, and
Whatever language they speak in
in
Singapore.
whatever language they speak in Singapore. Yeah. So, you know, they were saying like, there's no way this is Numbani, because why is there this language from Singapore here? And the other thing I would
an
know.
island capacity of southern Malaysia. So Malaysia.
Oh, it's Malaysian. Okay, yeah.
So Southeast Asia, basically.
The other thing I would note is, so who of us have played Comp recently? I know I
haven't,
have.
because I have.
I literally played comp right before we started recording.
What about you, Jez?
I haven't played my placements yet because I can't do it. Like I can't do
That's
10.
Fair.
It's too much.
Well, I don't think, maybe you guys haven't noticed, but Numbani hasn't been hasn't been in any playlist for about 2 weeks now.
That's true, eh?
It has not been it has not been in any playlist for 2 weeks now.
I haven't played
Seriously?
Numbani since I started playing again. That's
Yeah.
true, and I started playing again when Anniversary came.
It,
when Uprising came out.
it has been completely disabled.
Let's see if I can start it in a
Really?
custom game.
Has
Really?
that been actually confirmed?
Not confirmed by Overwatch, but everyone
Play a
is
game browser.
everyone is saying that they have not played on Numbani in like 2 weeks in any like actual matchmaking playlist.
Oh, by the way, just as a source note, I'm looking at the ending, the like Storm Rising ending with Doomfist.
Yeah.
And there's it appears to be in Anubis.
Yeah, it is in Anubis. It's in
Yeah.
Cairo.
So, yeah, just confirming that in case someone was like thinking like, oh, are they saying that like the ending is like in Singapore? No, that's not what we're saying.
It's in Cairo.
Okay, just
No one in the team has played on Numbani either, and Lieutenant Dan plays literally every day for hours.
Yeah. No.
Wow,
Holy
that's really
shit.
weird.
And
Could
basically
they have been updating the map? Possibly?
what everyone is saying is that it's probable that they're updating the map to reflect some lore event relating to Doomfist.
Oh, spicy.
Just like how they did that when right before Doomfist came out, it was disabled for about a week or so because they were changing it and they removed the gauntlet from the.
What is the event?
Case.
The event starts on the 26th, right?
Yes. Or around there.
Roughly, yes.
2 weeks
No,
after
wait,
we.
doesn't it start on the 24th? Because that's when Overwatch was released. It has to start around there, isn't that right?
It would probably start on the Tuesday closest to that.
Release date?
Hey, speaking of which, Astro, do you want to play some comp after we finish this?
That's the plan.
All right, I'll invite you. Let's get this set up.
Yeah, May 24th. I was right. So that's the anniversary date.
What's the closest Tuesday to that?
That is 20th, Monday. No, sorry, 21st.
Yeah, it'll be the 21st.
All right, I guess we get to see Doomfist in Singapore.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're actually going to do with that. But I mean, it basically confirms that the whatchamacallit, the cutscene, the animation takes place just after.
And it also makes sense that they would deploy the same team to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Except for Mercy, because she was fucking just chilling, not dealing with this bullshit.
Wait, she was in that though, wasn't she?
No, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't.
Do we know if she's alive or not?
Mercy?
What if Doomfist kills her?
Mercy's
Like,
alive.
then?
Mercy's alive. Mercy's alive. Or Mercy just reses herself. I don't know. Like, who knows?
Is Mercy confirmed dead?
Mercy just reses herself. I don't know. Mercy
She could be canon dead. That would be crazy.
I mean, to be fair, she's alive at the time of the recall.
Maybe she's dead inside.
I mean, we all know that.
Overwatch was shut down for a reason.
I think
We will never find out that reason.
I think she's going to be an interesting character eventually, but we'll see.
Eventually.
Listen. For now, I have Moira. Moira is like, after Bastion, Moira is like the most interesting story and like character for me. So, I love Moira.
Well, anyway, everyone, have a nice day.
Yeah, that's all we got for now. So, Godspeed to you all, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye.